What's the Green with Evil?
So Green with Evil is where Tommy's introduced. The idea is that this guy Tommy's just arrived in the city. Rita is in the palace up on the moon, deciding that she needs something more to destroy the Power Rangers. So she has the green coin and decides that this new guy Tommy that's arrived is ironically the right guy to become her Green Ranger.
She's not had much fucking luck with the monsters so far, is she? With some of the poxy monsters she's been saying that, because Jesus, some of those are terrible.
You really want to talk about these Power Ranger monsters, don't you? What ones do you remember?
No, I'm just saying, in general, we could go on for ages, because I remember the one most recently, there was this really cool concept with one of the monsters, which was like a chicken. It weren't a chicken. The whole concept was the one where it can manipulate space and time, wasn't it? With a pair of scissors, it can cut the fabric of time or something.
Right, okay.
And jump between time and stuff, time zones or whatever. And it ended up just being this fat fucking chicken with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, some of the costumes were questionable, to say the least.
That was a great concept, a bad guy that controlled space and time. So every time the Megazord, one the Power's trying to hit a zip, it'll cut fabric and time, jump through one end, jump out the other side of time, and then end up being behind them or something. It was a cool concept, but it was a fat chicken.
Do you not remember
with a pair of scissors?
Do you not remember the guy? I think he's Eye Guy, or so. I think that was the episode name. The guy that was just pure eyes. That was weird, man. That
Eye Guy.
That freaked me out.
He was such an easy guy to beat as well. I mean,
poke him in the eye.
They could have just throw dust at him or something. Or it's made of 100 eyes. Sit down and watch a fucking Twilight movie or something. That'd kill it. Fucking Eye Guy. It's terrible. Cut an onion next to him or something.
Yeah, get the police in, get their CS gas and spray that motherfucker right now. Ah!
Fucking bad guy made of nothing but eyes.
So Rita needed something else, and she decided to use the power coin that she had this whole time, halfway through the season, decided to bring in her Ranger, Tommy. She brainwashes him and makes him her Ranger. The good thing about that was it introduced us to this evil Tommy, which, I'm not going to lie, I loved evil Tommy. I loved him. I thought he was awesome already before.
It was pretty cool having something different, because as we said, with the monsters that were getting thrown out, they were kind of ridiculous at the time and funny. And now she has something that was on even playing field to the Rangers. She's got a Ranger of her own. That was a cool concept.
Yeah, and obviously he in that you see him grow large as well. Instead of just having the Dragonzord arrive, Tommy is a big monster as well, and that's where they introduced Scorpina as well. Do you remember Scorpina?
No.
Scorpina was a scorpion, basically a woman in gold outfit, similar to Goldar's, but a scorpion rather than his winged gorilla look. She was a scorpion.
Okay.
In the Japanese version, she was actually Goldar's wife. But in the American version, she was just Scorpina, another addition. So you had Goldar, Scorpina, and a big fucking Green Ranger to take on the Power Rangers. So they were outnumbered.
Was it still season 1 as well with this Scorpina? Because I don't remember her in it.
Yeah, all season 1. Yeah, she weren't in it for very long. Again, I think they sort of run out of footage, what they could use with the storyline they went with. Because like I said, a lot of it was stemmed off. They were having to use a lot of the Japanese footage to create the monsters and that. And they could only go so far with Scorpina because they only had a certain amount of footage of her that was usable, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't remember Tommy, though, or the Green Ranger, being a giant as well.
Yeah, if you watch Green with Evil, he becomes a big Green Ranger. Obviously, like I said, in the Japanese version, a lot of it was very different. It was a lot darker. The storyline wasn't that the Green Ranger was Rita's Ranger. He was just another Power Ranger who was actually the Red Ranger's brother, who lived in a different dimension, and he would just appear and try and fight not only the Power Rangers or Zeo Rangers, he would fight all of them. But they changed it in obviously America to be Rita's Ranger, which was the story. I prefer that story, obviously, because I said the other one was quite dark.
Yeah.
But obviously Tommy arrived, and then he's the bad guy. They defeat him, and they have to destroy his Sword of Darkness, which I don't know if you remember the Sword of Darkness. It's like a big, long, curved sword that they had.
Yeah, I remember it from the comics. I don't remember it from the program, so I don't remember that episode as well. Maybe I even missed that episode completely because I don't even remember Rita using her Viagra stick on Tommy. But
Viagra stick. I like that. Yeah, magic wand, make my monster grow.
yeah, it's like she used to use it on fucking every monster, weren't it? Like, oh, okay, the Power Rangers have beat them again. Let's use my Viagra stick on this big phallus-looking monster made of eyes and just boom, make my monster grow. And I bet Zordon loved that, didn't he, in old age? Not Zordon, Lord Zed.
Zordon secretly loved a bit of Rita. That's why he was so pissed off at her. She would never let him get in there. I can't make Zordon's monster grow. He's stuck in his own tube. But yeah, so obviously they destroy the Sword of Darkness. Tommy then stands up and is like, I don't believe what I've done. And they're like, will you join us, Tommy? And that's when he becomes the good guy Green Ranger. And one of the interesting things is if you watch them episodes, like a lot of the time when the Green Ranger's in it, a lot of the time Tommy's always doing something else. When the Rangers go and start a fight, Tommy's off doing something else, like helping kids play basketball while the Power Rangers are fighting. Because in the Japanese version, the Green Ranger could only arrive at certain times because he had limited life, where it brings us to the Green Candle episode, where Tommy loses his powers. In Japan, they had a green candle, but it was, instead of it being Rita's candle to take away his powers, it was a candle that was keeping the Green Ranger alive. And every time he went into Earth and used his powers, it would go, and at the end, when it ran out, he died. So it was quite dark.
So it was like every time he transforms into Green Ranger, it would like start burning the candle or something.
Yeah. But yeah,
right, okay.
So quite dark, and then he died and never come back, obviously. But we know it as the green candle that burns away, takes away his powers.
I bet Jason would have loved that, wouldn't he? Fucking coming over here, stealing my thunder.
Like, proper happened, didn't it? Like,
everyone wanted to play with me, and now no one wants to play with me. They all want to be this poxy new Green Ranger.
Like, he is, Jason David Frank, or Tommy, has always been the most popular Ranger. I mean, but it's always a competition. Who do you prefer, red or green? It's always been that red or green, and you've just been in blue.
Yeah, love my boy Blue.
Yep, you've got the glasses as well, so it works.
I know. I think I just had a love of the dorkier characters. You know, in Ghostbusters it was always Egon. In Turtles it was Donatello, and then and the good thing is whenever I play with friends, I always got to have my pick of the character because no one wanted to be the people I wanted to be.
You've always been quite easy to please, you, haven't you? You've never been one to like, I'll be this guy.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'll take a back seat. I'll be Billy. It's cool.
So when everyone was rushing out and buying,
and he has probably the best Zord. I love a Triceratops. I think it's sick.
I don't know though. That Dragon Zord was something else. The Dragon Zord was.
It was, but one of my when I was a kid, I used to love dinosaurs as well, and my favourite dinosaur was the Triceratops. It's fucking got 3 gigantic horns hanging out of its head, just run up and fucking spear people. I loved it. And then it just so happens that my Blue Ranger, blue's my favourite colour. Dude wears glasses, bit of a dork, and he had a Triceratops as his dinosaur as well. I was well on board for that.
Well, yeah, Blue Ranger, you're very happy. That's the main thing. You're very happy about being the Blue Ranger. You're content, and like I said, I had a battle between red and green, and then it just became the green. I think it's because he was more of a mysterious character. Like you said, he wasn't always there. Then he lost his powers, and I think like the whole idea in America is that he was actually going to go for good. And Jason David Frank, aka Tommy, was actually planning to be the lead character in VR Troopers. Do you remember VR Troopers?
Yes. Yeah, VR Troopers.
He'd actually filmed a pilot and was going off to be the main character in VR Troopers, but was so popular in Power Rangers, they had to bring him back because people loved the Green Ranger when he came in. So they brought him back, found a way to restore his powers, and brought him back for the rest of season 1 and into season 2, which goes into season 2 where you get a brand new bad guy in Lord Zed. A more scary, mate.
See, like Lord Zed, he was like a scary looking dude from what I remember when I was a kid. But I don't know, he always like there was always this image with him. He was like a cross between like the Super Shredder from Turtles and a freshly circumcised penis.
I thought he just looked like Jason X from Jason in Space.
Yeah, he was like this.
Uber Jason.
He had like no skin, didn't he? He was like this skinless thing with like a metal kind of skeletal structure about him that looked a lot like Shredder from the Turtles.
Yeah. He was. I remember him being fucking scary, man. Like he just be like. You look back now and it's not so scary, but back then this guy turned up. You had Rita, this old sort of like Japanese witch lady.
With a Viagra stick chucking it at monsters.
Yeah, and then Lord Zed arrives, and he's purely just like skin has been removed, muscle with a metal exoskeleton. It's like fucking hell, this guy's freaky.
Yeah, the circumcised Super Shredder.
Yeah, and so obviously, they bring him in. They get new Zords, the Thunder Megazord, the Red Dragon. Billy got his unicorn, not unicorn. What did he get?
What?
Billy didn't have
fucking
a
unicorn.
What did Billy have? Wasn't he a unicorn? Yellow Ranger was a unicorn. He was... Wow, how can I not remember this?
Was it like a frog or some shit? I don't know.
No.
Was it what, from the movies or something?
No. From the second season, they changed Zords, didn't they? They got... Red Ranger had the Red Dragon. Pink Ranger had the Crane. Black Ranger had the Lion. Blue Ranger... Oh, it's going to bug me. What?
See, I don't know, because I think I stopped watching when it all started changing. Because I remember they lost like 3 characters. I don't know why. What was the reason behind that? Where they 3 of them ended up leaving the show.
Right, so we'll get there.
All the main ones.
We'll get there. Calm down.
So did they get these? Did that change before that? Because I remember them leaving the show, but I don't remember these new Zords.
Right, so the new Zords came in. The new Zords came in season 2. Obviously, big part of it is they wanted to make more money out of the Zords. These toys had flown out. We all, like, apart from you, we all had Megazords. We all had all this. So they had to go in season 2 with something new. The Japanese footage became a completely different series because they went into another episode of Super Sentai, but they didn't change the costumes in America. They kept the Power Ranger costumes and gave them new Zords from the Japanese show, which is the Thunder Megazord, they call it. And it was the Red Dragon was Red Ranger, Triceratops was a unicorn, sorry, and the Yellow Ranger was the Griffin, and the Pterodactyl became the Firebird. So there was 5 new Zords. So yeah, Billy became a unicorn.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I would not have been happy with that.
Yeah, see, like you said, you don't remember much about season 2. So obviously, the whole beginning of season 2 was them getting these new Zords. Tommy couldn't get a new one because his powers weren't strong enough, and Lord Zed was on a scheme to get rid of Tommy. So Tommy loses his powers again, loses the Green Ranger powers, and then it gets to one of my favourite episodes of all time, White Light, where they decide to make a new Power Ranger. And at the time, you didn't know if it was going to be Tommy. You knew Tommy was due to come back after losing his powers and go and spend a summer at his uncle's or something like that. And you knew that Lord Zed was trying to capture Tommy, but you just saw Tommy disappear. And at the end of the first episode, you see Billy discover them building this new Ranger. And in the second episode of White Light, that's when they introduced the White Ranger, who...
Yeah, see, the first inkling I remember of the White Ranger was at the end of that song they brought out.
I know exactly what song you're talking about, Ash. The song that was in their charts in the 90s from 1993. It was a hit that they even put it on top of the pops, and they had the Power Rangers on top of the pop. I don't think it was the real Power Rangers. But do you want to hear a little bit of that song so we can talk about how that song used to get us excited?
Yeah, go for it.
This is it. So this intro was just such a big build-up. Listen to this.
Contact the Power Rangers at once.
That is such a fist-bumping moment. I can just see you fist-bumping to this. Ready for the drop.
I always get the head bob going.
Yeah. Here we go.
Still a fucking tune, I love it.
Again, I listen to this all the time in the car with Jacob. He's 3 years old, and this is his favourite song to listen to in the car. When we went and met the Red Ranger in Surrey, we listened to that the whole way there, singing it. I'll talk about that a bit more in a bit, but that bit that you were talking about is, so at the end of that song there was a little sneak preview of what was to come in season 2, and I'll play that bit right now.
Wait! Zordon, what's that in the viewing globe?
That is the future you are seeing, Alpha. That is the White Ranger.
That was the first inkling you had that there was going to be a new Ranger. You didn't know who it was going to be, but there was a new Ranger, the White Ranger, just from that little snippet at the end of the song. And what a great way to promote to us kids that there was a new Ranger coming.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the first time I remember hearing or seeing the White Ranger.
So yeah, they did this whole white light episode where they brought